Welcome back to the Euro 2020-2021 predictions, where this time we'll be doing Group D to F. Here, of course, is me and Broken Sissoko, and let's get right into this. 2016 was not a fun time for the Czech Republic. 2 losses, 1 draw. And 2021 also doesn't look that great for the Czech Republic. RoboCop himself, Vladimir Soufal, was great for West Ham and helped them to their best finish in the Premier League in a long time. Speaking of West Ham players, Tomáš Souček has an even bigger impact for the Czech Republic. He scored a hat-trick versus Estonia and scored in a 2-0 win versus Slovakia. He's great in the air also due to his strong physical presence and could be a key on set pieces. Jakub Jankto provides a good amount of creativity as well. He had 6 goals and 3 assists for Sampdoria and Serie A. Up front is Patrick Schick, who does have a decent scoring record for his nation, but he hasn't been amazing at club level and has shown to miss big chances. The recent form for the Czechs hasn't been great, but their 1-1 draw against Belgium showed how good they can be. Verdict: 4th place. It was hard to decide who finishes last, but unfortunately I think the Czechs will. Do not count this team out though. If any of their group rivals fumbles even just a little bit, the Czechs will be ready to take full advantage. Scotland qualify for a major tournament for the first time since 1998. They look to be down and out, but some people are looking at them as a potential underdog. For one, Croatia are in this group, and Croatia have never beaten Scotland in any of the 5 times they have faced up against them. Scotland typically play a back 3 with Kieran Tierney as a left center back, a role he's played before under Arteta at Arsenal. Right in front of him is one of the best left backs in the world, Andrew Robertson. The two could combine and create some threats on the flanks for sure. Scott McTominay is one of the most underrated midfielders in the Premier League. He's aggressive with interceptions, which can disrupt the attacking flows of England or Croatia and give Scotland some breaks out of the blue for their own attackers. He partners with John McGinn, whose creativity could provide a goal here or there as well. Che Adams has played only 3 times for Scotland but has shown the ability to score. At Southampton, he had a fiery start to the first half of the season. If he can find that same form again, then who knows, Scotland could have a pretty decent run this tournament. Scotland's form hasn't been great with draws against Austria and Israel recently. Their win against the Czechs does help their chances though. Verdict: 3rd place. Scotland should have enough to edge past the Czechs and could even challenge England and Croatia, but with little tournament experience, this could also break them. Euro 2016 saw Croatia lose to Portugal in the last 16, but then 2 years later, they made it all the way to the final of the World Cup. Although Croatia's team aren't as good as they were 2 years ago, with multiple players either retiring or declining to father time. Dominik Livakovic mans the keeper position. In the Europa League, he kept 6 clean sheets in 11 matches for Zagreb. The strong suit again, though, for Croatia is of course their midfield. Luka Modric is Croatia's midfield magician. He is by far the main creative outlet. Mateo Kovacic has amazing ability to carry the ball and beat the press, which will relieve a lot of pressure off Croatia's faulty back 4. Ivan Perisic has been playing more defensively for Inter this entire season, so hopefully his scoring form isn't hindered too much. Striker Ante Rebic had 11 goals for AC Milan, but he hasn't played much for his nation due to injury, but he's still someone who can bag goals. The defense is a weakness for this nation though. Croatia haven't kept many clean sheets as of recent. Before the 2 World Cup qualifying wins, Croatia had 3 consecutive losses and a 3-all draw against Turkey. It should also be stated that Croatia haven't won an away match since September of 2019. Verdict: 2nd place. Although slightly struggling, the quality of Croatia should be able to achieve at least a runners-up finish in the group. Everyone remembers that infamous time when England do what they always do best: disappoint an entire nation. A 2-1 loss against Iceland. A match to remember in the darkness of English hearts and the glowing happiness of mine. England have a lot more hype. Again. But there's even more reason why. Their defense could be a concern though. John Stones was exceptional, but that was mostly due to the influence of Ruben Diaz. Harry Maguire, due to injury, could be less than 100%, which could be detrimental to the back 4. Trent Alexander-Arnold can roam freely on the flanks and create a lot of key chances for England. Again, the concern will be his defending and tracking back though, but surely there's a plan behind that. Oh, what's that? Trent's ruled out for the tournament. I guess that's alright. England still have like 953 right backs to play. In all seriousness though, it's kind of unfortunate, because I was actually looking forward to watching him play. Jordan Henderson will be an extremely important asset with his energy and leadership. England will hope he's 100% fit by the tournament. Phil Foden, as of recent, has gotten more chances, and if Southgate starts him, England will look even more dangerous. He's an incredible dribbler of the ball, and if he played more for City, there's no doubt in my mind he'd be in the same conversation as Haaland and Mbappe. Then there's Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. It hurts to say that, but it's true. Prolific doesn't even do justice for how good Harry Kane can be at times. Kane scored 12 goals in the qualifiers and recently won Golden Boot in the Premier League. His finishing is top class, there's no range to his shots either, and he's a quality playmaker. England have been in dazzling form, but the issue is Southgate holds this team back. Losses against Belgium and Denmark will flare up some questions for sure, but England are definitely one of the favorites to win this summer. Verdict: first place. There's no doubt I could see this team going to the semis, but knowing good old England, they'll be eliminated in the last 16. Last time Slovakia progressed to the last 16, only to be thrashed by Germany 3-0. Martin Dubravka since February 2018 has saved 69.2% of the shots he's faced, which is among the likes of Łukasz Fabianski and Rui Patricio. He's backed by Milan Skriniar, who's been an important asset to Inter's defense. His luck has recently turned around for Slovakia as well. In recent matches, he scored 2 goals and assisted another as a center back. The only concern is that he's not great with aerial duels. Marek Hamšík is still a star player and his positioning has allowed him to score 26 goals for Slovakia. He stepped out of the limelight when he left Napoli, but it hasn't removed any of the class from him. Slovakia isn't strong in front of goal though. They'll more than likely be relying on their midfield for goals. Their recent form has been disappointing. Draws to both Malta and Cyprus, but their 2-1 win against Russia is at least a good positive. Some of their more notable results don't look great either though. Verdict: fourth place. Slovakia were unlucky being drawn in a tough group. I just can't see this team in the form they're in right now edge past any of their competitors. Poland were defeated in the quarterfinals against eventual winners Portugal. 2 years later, they then became one of the biggest disappointments in the World Cup. In between the sticks is either Łukasz Fabianski or Wojciech Szczesny. Fabianski should be the number 1 as he's had much better form than Wojciech's 1 clean sheet in his last 8 matches. The defensive Poland looked very shaky though, especially in their 3-all result against Hungary. Poland's midfield consists of Grzegorz Krychowiak, who had 9 goals in the Russian Premier League, and Piotr Zielinski, who had 8 goals and 10 assists in a great season for Napoli. But all of Poland's chips are placed on one man once again: Robert Lewandowski. He's come off another brilliant season for Bayern and even broke a record thought to be impossible to break. His scoring form is great for Poland as well. He is going to be vital to Poland's success this summer. Besides a win against Andorra, the Polish form ain't looking great. It should be noted though that Lewandowski did not play the match against England. Verdict: third place. Poland were drawn in a very difficult group and most of their success will be based on how well Lewandowski performs. I see third right now, but who knows? Maybe Poland improves the form and edges past a washed Spain. Since the golden generation, Spain just have not had a fun time in tournaments. Group exit in 2014, last 16 elimination in 2016, and then being upsetted by Russia in 2018. Luis Enrique announced a squad with not one single Real Madrid player. In my personal opinion, I think he's right to do this. None of the Spaniards at Real were great and Carvajal was ruled out for the rest of the season in late April. Sergio Ramos being excluded is something I particularly don't really agree with though, because that's just a lot of leadership and experience just, left to watch the games on TV. Aymeric Laporte did the old switcheroo to Spain though, and that's a huge addition to Spain's defense. His partnership with Pau Torres will be an interesting one to watch for sure. Thiago didn't fit in Liverpool's system this season, but he's still important to the Spanish team. He'll be supported by the likes of Rodri, who had an exceptional season for Man City. But again, Spain just can't seem to get the striker position down. 2018 saw them dominate possession and have brilliant passing interplay, but there was no end product to any of it. Ferran Torres hopes to change that though. He's not a striker, but his intelligent movement alongside his shooting ability could bag some important goals for Spain. He recently got a hat-trick in the 6-0 destruction of Germany, so there is promise. As stated before, Spain ripped Germany to pieces, but what will raise some eyebrows are the struggles Spain have experienced recently. A draw against Greece and a lucky last-minute goal to beat Georgia. Against Georgia, Spain had all the possession, but Georgia had just 1 less shot on target than La Roja, which again reflects their issues finding end product. Verdict: second place. Spain in most people's eyes are group winners, with how stacked their midfield is, but I just can't see it with their underlying issues stated before. I know I'll be clowned for this prediction though. I just know it. The Swedes were absolutely terrible in Euro 2016, but then we saw them grow 2 years later, progressing through to the quarterfinals of the 2018 World Cup. Ibrahimovic coming back to the national team was really exciting. and then he got injured. Sweden's strengths are in their defensive organization, which has proven time again in every tournament a huge aspect for success no matter the prestige of your squad. The 13 goals conceded in the Nations League say otherwise, but their opponents were some of Europe's top nations. Veteran Sebastian Larsson provides leadership for a squad filled with young talent, while Emil Forsberg's creativity and experience from 2018 could help out in the attack too. Dejan Kulusevski hasn't had many caps, but he could be a very interesting player on the flanks. The lanky Slenderman-like striker Alexander Isak is one to watch though. He's always a threat in the air at a towering 6'4", and he had 17 goals in a very dynamic Sociedad side this season. He's a great dribbler of the ball, has shown the ability to score for his nation, and could really be an X factor for Sweden in my personal opinion. Sweden lost to France recently, but who doesn't? Their 2 wins prior were solid defensively, and a win against Croatia should get their hopes up as well. Verdict: first place. I genuinely believe Sweden could turn some heads with their organization at the back and key attacking pieces like Isak. Hail to the Swedish meatball. I did a whole video on Hungary's underdog story in 2016, so if you haven't watched the video yet, please do so. I had a ton of fun making the video, and I genuinely think it's one of the best videos I've made so far on the channel. From one solid keeper to a top 10 keeper, Peter Gulácsi is an incredible shot stopper with a save percentage of 68%, which is among the best in the Bundesliga this season. The aerial dominance of Willi Orban will be huge for Hungary. He has the utmost composure, and his stability in possession is like not many in his position. The main threat going forward though is young Dominik Szoboszlai. The Hungarian wonderkid is incredibly talented and skillful with the ball. His breathtaking solo against Iceland was phenomenal, and so is his beautiful free kick versus Turkey. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I am very excited to watch this guy play. Oh, for fuck! Recent results of a 2-0 win versus Turkey and 3-all draw against Poland gives you some hope Hungary aren't completely out. This was also without Dominik too. Verdict: fourth place. Don't count out Hungary completely. The group of death can influence a team's mentality for the better. Although Hungary has shown success without Dominik, they are going up against 3 of the top nations in the world. It's just too difficult to justify third without him. Defeated by France in the semis of the 2016 Euros. Then defeated by glorious brethren South Korea in 2018, Germany hoped to bounce back. A lot of people are talking about the call-ups of Thomas Müller and Mats Hummels, as they do bring a lot of experience, and Thomas Müller had a pretty good season as well. Although, I don't really see the hype because they were in the same team that crashed out in 2018. Manuel Neuer is still one of the best keepers in the world. He's been vital to Bayern's success once again, and he'll need to be the one to bail out Germany when need be. Watching Joshua Kimmich is truly mesmerizing. He's on the ball splitting defenses, playing precise passes, and never seems to lose his composure doing it. You can never count out the quality of Toni Kroos with his brilliant passing range, and the same with İlkay Gündoğan, who had one of his best seasons for City in a while. Germany's main attacking threat is Serge Gnabry, who has an insane scoring record for Germany. 15 goals in 20 caps. Germany have been missing a clinical finisher, and they'll need Gnabry to be in top form. Watching Timo Werner in front of goal is like watching someone eat a Kit Kat like a normal chocolate bar, but he shouldn't be overlooked. He's not had a great record for his country in tournaments, and he's hungry to change that. Germany are an interesting side with lots of promise, but unfortunately, Joachim Löw is truly washed up. The 6-0 loss to Spain was terrible, but to add salt to the wound, Germany lost 2-1 to North Macedonia. That being said, a great team on paper, but on the pitch, it's a completely different story. Verdict: third place. Germany just don't look that threatening to me. I almost even put them last in the group because what has changed? Nothing. They've only continued to decline, but maybe Germany will prove me wrong this summer. I doubt it though. Portugal were the surprise winners of the 2016 tournament after having such an uninspiring group stage performance. Everyone even believed it was over when Ronaldo was injured early on into the final and then was brutally assaulted by a moth. Portugal looked to retain the title, but it will be difficult. Rui Patricio, no matter how old the man is, he is always one of the top keepers in any international tournament. He was huge in Euro 2016, and I have no doubt it'll be the same this summer as well. Ruben Dias is one of the best defenders in the world at the moment. When he was integrated into Pep Guardiola's side, he transformed City's defense. He'll probably be partnered with veteran Jose Font, who was excellent for Lille, helping them to a Liga title. Bruno Fernandes may be a stat pattern in some respects, but he's transformed Manchester United's midfield since coming in. His ability to slice through defenses in a flash really makes him valuable to this Portuguese side, but his form for the national team has not been up to par recently. I'm also wondering if this tournament could be a breakout performance for a youngster like João Felix. But of course, the star of all stars, the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is nowhere near the prime he once was at, but he is still one of the best players for Portugal and in the world, quite frankly. There's no need to describe what the man does. he can do it all. If Portugal are to make another push for the final, Ronaldo will be a part of a big chunk of it. Portugal's recent results have mostly been good, but the 2-2 draw against Serbia is a little concerning. And yes, I do realize Portugal probably should have won that match had it not been for the smooth brain officials. Verdict: second place. Portugal has more than enough quality to beat Germany and Hungary. They're able to challenge France, but those Frenchies are a completely different animal. Which brings me to the last team. Euro 2016 finalists, and then 2018 World Cup winners. France have not slowed down either. They've only begun, it seems. Hugo Lloris is absolutely world-class and will undoubtedly play a great role for France, but the man is prone to errors. Take the World Cup final, for example. Had France not been up, he'd be Hugo Carrius to the world. The defense, I would say, is the weakness for the French. It's still strong with Raphael Varane, but Varane isn't much of a number one. He's reliant on a stopper. Example being his partnership with Umtiti. It looks like this time Kimpembe will be the stopper though. Now, let's talk about France's midfield. The man is the size of a grape, yet can cover an entire third of the field with no problems whatsoever. In this particular era, the best midfield system in the world is literally just N'Golo Kante. Every time I see this man play, I am starstruck, and in the Champions League final, not a single player dribbled past N'Golo. With how Kante can do everything, it also allows Pogba to move more freely and create some key chances. France's defense may be a little bit of a concern, but N'Golo Kante is practically an extra defender. France's attack isn't all that impressive. It's just Antoine Griezmann, Kylian Mbappe, Karim Benzema. Yeah, France is winning this whole tournament. I have so much confidence in France. In fact, if they don't win the whole tournament, I'll have a last dab wing. France does need to be a little more careful though. Even if the squad isn't at full strength, they should be beating the likes of Ukraine. But France did beat Portugal back in November, and mind you, they did it with Martial. Verdict: first place. The quality of France's attack and midfield just seem way too overpowered for any other team to come close to defeating them. But France does have the tendency to either do really well or completely choke. As I am now done with the group predictions, third place isn't necessarily a confirmed spot into the knockouts. There will be 4 out of 6 that advance. My prediction is Switzerland, Finland, Scotland, and Germany will be the ones from third place to advance into knockout stages. But I will hold off on knockouts. There might be something that shows like my initial predictions here, but besides that, yeah, you'll have to wait a little bit. But again though, this is something new that I've never really done before, so I would love a lot of feedback for this video, whether it's just the information I'm giving you or just the editing or anything. Just please give me feedback. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the other football related content. Avoid the career mode content. Please just avoid. Be sure to follow my Twitter, my TikTok, my Twitch, and my Instagram. And I'll see you guys next time.